Okay.
Sure,
Wait,
sure.
let me yawn first.
What, what time did I say? Okay, yeah. Okay,
Wait, wait,
here we
wait.
go. Okay, here we go. Aloha, I'm Delzin Hakias. Thank you for joining with Healing with Aloha podcast, where we bring hope and healing with Aloha. It's such a great way for you guys to get to know our guests, real stories, real people, to help you to deal with grief and loss, self-care, and just allowing you to connect with other people that you can relate to and help you to move forward in life. And so today I'm very fortunate to introduce you to Karen Gibson. We just met this year and instantly we became soul sisters. And I want you guys to listen to what she has to share and hope that it gives you hope as a parent um, in your journey with this whole pandemic and just being able to relate to your child and help all of you guys to get through this time. And so with further ado, this is Karen. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Dad. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
So Karen, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
First of all, I am a mother of two daughters, aged 18 and 24. So I've gone through the gamut of every stressful situation you can possibly imagine. My 18-year-old pushed a lot of buttons, made me feel very incompetent, made me feel like I failed as a parent. And through her sophomore year, throwing up, missing a lot of school, having anxiety, depression, and me not knowing how to fix her, and her going from a straight A student to, I mean, is she going to pass? What am I not doing as an educator to like inspire her, motivate her? So I think I wanted to share my mistakes in my book, Mama's Gotta Let Go, how to let go without losing your sanity, because I thought I lost my sanity many, many times over.
Right. And then she finally graduated. You're like, woohoo.
And it doesn't end. I'm realizing, yeah, parent stress, right? I've talked to grandparents. I guess if you're a parent, it's just learning how to cope and finding strategies.
Right, exactly. So let's backtrack a little bit. You became a teacher, an educator a while ago, and then you ended up starting your own business. Can you explain briefly what you were doing before you started your own business?
Yes, well, I first started off as a marketing director and I think I burned out. So I decided I'm going to be a special education teacher. So my first experience was at Kahimohala, a psychiatric hospital. I burned out and then I decided to be a teacher at Campbell High School, Kaleopu'u. Then I thought special education, working with the DOE just wasn't for me. I admire a lot of these DOE teachers who are going through major, major stress, you know, with the unknown. So I decided in 1999 to start Brain Builders. So it's a private tutoring company who works one-on-one. And I've been doing it for 20 years. Last August made 20 years.
Well, time flies by.
Time flies by.
Yeah, your youngest one graduates too while you're in the midst of it all.
Exactly.
What you've been doing it for 20 years. What is one thing or two things that you like about being able to provide tutoring one-on-one? And I know because of the pandemic, you switched over into virtual because before it
Yes,
was more face-to-face and
right.
then
Face
you
to face.
recently, yeah. So what did you enjoy about educating one-on-one?
Well, I think one-on-one gives you the opportunity to really get to know the person. You know, the student has their own primary learning style. You know how we talked about love language before. If you have a visual learner and the teacher is teaching kinesthetic or auditory, you're going to lose that student. If
Yes.
a teacher doesn't know how to actually connect, or maybe they don't even know how to teach a subject because their subject is history, but they are thrown into an English class because of the shortage of teachers, right? You
Mm-hmm.
have kids who have, I think you and I talked about it, behavioral problems. We have stress at home. They have their own baggage from home and they're thrown into the classroom with sometimes 30 kids and they're scared to raise their hand. They're scared to even learn sometimes because of all this mental stuff, stress, depression, kind of like what Chelsea went through. So they're like frozen and they can't really learn. So tutoring, I notice, I work really well with kids who hate school
Oh,
because it's
really?
one-on-one. Yes. It's so funny because these kids hate school. They tell me, I think we should not go past sixth grade. I think school is
Wow.
a bunch of crap. And what I do though is I teach them like memory skills, study skills. I try to make, language arts fun. Maybe read about how Nintendo started or how
Oh,
like Minecraft
wow.
started. So you can teach all of the lessons, but use curriculum that makes it entertaining. But
For
I think as
them.
a teacher in the classroom, you have Common Core, you have standards that you have to follow. So
Mm-hmm.
regardless if you want to do it, you're stuck. So
Yeah.
that's what I loved about getting out of the classroom. I had control of the curriculum. I had control over my little one-on-one classroom, but a lot of teachers don't have that. On the downside, I don't have the paid vacation days. I don't have the,
Right. The
I don't
summer
teach, so I
breaks.
don't get paid, but I thought it was worth the mental stress as I was fully self-contained, the emotionally impaired kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really hard. I got injured. It was just a
Wow.
lot of stuff. So I like to.
But that's good though, because you were able to think out of the box and to continue educating. And like you said, the initial becoming an entrepreneur as a teacher and marketing yourself, it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. And do you think it takes a lot of patience? Like for example, like for any of the teachers that are listening right now, that maybe they want to go that route and provide one-on-one services, uh, what did you find that was the most difficult thing for you in the beginning stages, like when you're trying to find your students?
What you just said, getting clients. Um, I was a teacher, but no one knew who I was. So I had to
Mhm.
actually use my marketing degree, which to me was just outdated, but you still contact the news stations, contact the counselors, right? Get your name out there because kids who are failing, their parents want you. And I think there's so many teachers out there, if they're willing to, yeah, give up the retirement package, give up the vacation, do they really want to be in the classroom these days? With the pandemic, it is scary for both teachers and students. But teachers are getting, they're paying more for life insurance, or if they're getting their wills done, all because of the fear of
Mm,
teaching in the classroom. So I think it is a great opportunity. It isn't for everyone, but yeah, getting clients, sometimes it takes a long time. I had to, take a long time to get some students, and then it's all referral. Once you have, right, you have a reputation of, oh my gosh, my kid is improving, then that parent will tell another mom, which will tell another mom, and then I had at one point 17 sessions a week, and it becomes, and with virtual, they don't even have to leave their house. So it is scary. You and I talked about it. It is scary seeing yourself and then having a multitude of distractions that these
for
kids
the
will do.
children,
But
yeah.
right. But I mean, I have people who have a hard time with the one-on-one. Guess what? They are listening and being, I guess, focused. And you know why? I think kids don't have that now. They're at home, they're bored. So sometimes it's like, even if it's a teaching moment, right? It's amazing. I'm getting kids do algebra. I'm getting kids do stuff, and I'm thinking I can't even get them to do it in person. And I asked them, and I said, I mean, I have to do Instagram messaging to do a paragraph because they were having difficulty with Google, Drive and their documents. But I thought we got to just be creative, and we can
Right.
make this the best learning environment ever. Because did the kids really learn through the traditional school system? That's
Mhm.
up for discussion, right?
Yeah. And it really depends. Like you said, everybody has a different style of learning,
Exactly.
and everybody has like different styles of love language. And so maybe you're able to identify what they need, and you can, but if you're a teacher and you have so many students you have to process through the day, you're limited in being able to be more individualized. So it's something of an option for teachers.
I
If
think so. And that way, one on one,
and
you
even if
can
they like
really,
slowly get like build their clientele, maybe they start like one student, two students, and then if they really enjoy it, then they can consider this as something they can do full time.
definitely. And they already have possible clients because they have their students. Every teacher probably has about 100 students, and they can, teachers or parents, right? Who, if they have a strong bond with the parents, there you go.
Nice. Uh, So I wanted to go into how last year you were inspired to write a book. And I know I plan on writing a book, and I know many people think, oh, one day I'm going to write a book and whatnot. But what was the inspiration behind your book?
The inspiration was based on a diary that I started writing when Sabrina left for college. So I
Mm.
started writing it in 2014, and then I lost it. Then I wrote in it. And then finally, last October, I decided I'm going to turn it into a book. And instead of trying to find a publisher, I decided to do research and use Kindle Direct Publishing, and I decided to publish it on my own. So it wasn't easy, but I took it upon myself as it's like, I'm going to do this. And it's like with anything, being an entrepreneur, being an author, pursuing anything that you want to, right? Like you want to do this book. I encourage everyone to tell their story, publish it. It is a great feeling to just know that, wow, I did it.
Yeah, so you felt like it was worth it.
Looking back, while I was doing it, it was not worth it because you go through so much formatting problems and chapters are missing, and you might, you have to redo it. But once it's done, it's something that you can call up your own. And I think a lot of people who have that dream to be an author, I think they should just do it. Now, you do not have to seek a publisher to publish it. It's the perfect time to do self-publishing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if now some people, they're waiting to go back to work, or maybe they have to switch careers and whatnot, that they have the time. You're saying that when you self-published it, that they're really helpful for Kindle?
Oh my gosh, I am such a promoter for Kindle. They were on the phone literally for hours, helping me with the format. If something disappeared, the fonts change or whatever it was, I would rely on them. And guess what? It's free. You do not have to pay to have, Kindle Direct Publishing, and they help you market it. You have 5 free download days. So you know how, like in the past, I would say today is, next Monday is a free download day. So they
it's a way
really
to market it and whatnot.
yeah. And there's classes. I mean, now with YouTube, with free classes. I mean, I think if you want to publish a book, now's the prime opportunity because people are buying books, right? They're doing Kindle. They want to read because we're stuck at home. So
Right, they need something to do.
Yes.
So can you just tell us, a lot of people have their own anxieties and fears of taking the leap in publishing, right? Can you just be real with us? Like, what were some of the insecurities and fears you felt when you were about to launch it?
Oh, that no one would read it. That everyone would think, what a load of crap. Why did she do that? Because I was vulnerable. I shared how my child, threw up and how she had anxiety. And as a mom, how I said the wrong thing, or I forced her to do 5 hours of tutoring because I was teaching her perseverance. So I knew that I was going to be possibly judged as a mother, as a writer, as it is scary. So I think what I had to do, and what you taught me, is you can't care what other people think. You don't know whether it's going to be well received.
Yes.
And does it matter if my goal is to publish a book? And also, when you remember, like Jack Canfield, it's like 144 no's. When you know
Yes.
that there are other people who are very like bestsellers and they themselves had insecurities, then it's like, okay, I guess it's normal. And do I want this? Yes. But you know what? There's going to be times in that journey that you think, you know what? I'm scrapping it. Especially when I lost it. I lost the manuscript so many times. And then I decided, people are like, you know what you should do? So then you incorporate that. No. You know what you should do? And then you incorporate that.
You're like, I'm just going to publish it.
Then you finally say, you know what? I'm going to just publish it. And then I decided to add 10 more pages. And that's the beauty of Kindle. You can actually you can do it in paperback and make the paperback different from Kindle. So I had 10 additional message cards for parents. And then and then I thought, wow, it's not a mistake. I can use it as a marketing thing where the paperback version has more. So yeah,
right.
But it's a journey that I think is it's like childbirth.
You don't know, especially if it's the first one.
Oh, no, and you like, why did I do this? When you're in pain and you think you're gonna die, and then you think, okay, I think that was worth it.
You know what? It's so great that you did do it, because it's people coming across information that you wouldn't have met, like if they're living in another state, they're living overseas and whatnot. Like you basically providing an opportunity of information that someone is looking for and they could utilize. Whereas if you just said, "No, I'm just gonna keep all my ideas to myself," right? Like then that's the one person out there searching, and here you are, like you're holding all these ideas and experiences, and then when they find it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so me." And then the feeling of isolation, you decrease that feeling of isolation because they can relate to someone.
Well, I think a lot of people are scared though to share their vulnerability, and that's what I love about you. Sharing about the losses. I think as parents, we are embarrassed to share that. You know what? I think I messed up my kid. I think and verbal abuse, very common. I've said stuff like, "Oh my gosh, do you even want to graduate from school? Are you going to be able to do this work?" And the things that we say, we think will motivate them. We think, well, it's like I did this whole, we are going to do this 5 hours of homework. And then she just recently shared in the interview that, you know what, that is not the way. But I think a lot of parents force that. You're going to do the work, you're going to get straight A's, you're going to get a scholarship, and you're going to get on the tennis team, and you're going to do this. Okay.
What did your youngest daughter explain to you, Chelsea explained to you in the interview recently, that was like, wow, and it helped other parents? What was the one thing? Because I know.
It was a scary interview. And I think the one thing that I got from it, which I am guilty of, is as parents, we want to provide inspirational stories when they're going through a hard time. So like she had a hard day at work, right? She's a cashier, supermarket, brand new. She's crying. Of course, I had to say, when I first had a job, I mean, I forgot to put water in the assignment at McDonald's, and I had to do this. And I looked at her and I said, "Uh-oh, I'm sharing my story, which has no relevance to you." And she goes, and I said, "It's not going to be helpful." She's like, so I think when she said that in the interview, well, I think a lot of parents need to, number one, emotionally connect, which
Mm,
means, and there's a difference between listening and hearing. We do this, right? We have our phone. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then, it's like, can you like put your phone down? Can you like pause that show that you're watching on Netflix? Can you like give me eye contact? Because you're not listening. I know that
mm,
you're listening, but are you really hearing? So her two, I think, main things for parents are to really care. I mean, sometimes, do you really care about like this book that she read? My husband sat and listened to 20 minutes of this romance plot of this book that she was reading because I was doing something. "Dad, can you listen?" And he said, after 20 minutes, I was like, but he did it. And I think as parents, we expect so much from our child. Can we give that 20 minutes to play the video game or to listen to your child's drama? Because we think, "Oh my gosh, you have no idea how hard it's going to be." And that's us, right?
yes.
And their little world, that is equivalent to getting COVID. I mean, that is so traumatizing. When she
Losing
cried
a
at
job,
work,
or yeah.
yeah, and a customer is yelling at her, that's like our boss telling us that we're incompetent, but we're like minimizing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? You don't really know how hard life is going to be. So I think when she said that, don't minimize,
Mm,
don't give these life lessons and these stories. And see, I heard it and I'm still doing it. I think it's default because that's
right.
what I want to fix. And she said, "But aren't you learning that you're not supposed to fix me, Mom?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah. But like what we were discussing earlier, for our parents and our parents' parents, we weren't taught to
Right,
apologize. We weren't
exactly.
taught to allow the child to express themselves. And so now your child is trying to express himself. It's weird because you never you couldn't even do that with your parents. Like, "Hey, can I share with you my feelings?" Like, no, just do what I
Right,
say.
right.
And so a lot of the things, like, you realize, and it's a constant thing, is unlearning what you're taught and being relatable to your child according to their love language and their learning style.
Well, and also, yesterday's parenting is not effective with today's kids. We were, okay, I am going to spank you. I am going to make you learn this lesson. the kids these days, I mean, if they do learn the lesson, it's out of fear. And when they're out on their own,
Mhm.
who's going to do the slipper thing? Who's going to spank them? As an adult, they're not going to know what to do. And as parents, this is my main message, is our job is to prepare our kids to not need us anymore.
Wow.
And that's to really put, I mean, really listen to that. You know, I could easily teach Chelsea, you know what? Okay, in order for you, you have to like be resilient. You have to make sure that this, you know, right? Oh, you don't know how to do the lock. Okay, what? And we do that. We come to their rescue thinking that we're a good parent, but we are enabling our kids. And guess what? We are criticizing the millennials. We created the millennials. The millennials are the way they are because of the parenting styles that we did, right? It's like, wait a minute, why aren't they doing this and this? Because my parents did it, but guess what? We provided, we spoon fed them. We made their lunch. We charged their phones, right? I have this one mom and she made sure that her phone, her kid's phone was charged. She went to college and she's like, Mom, my phone died. Why? Because the mom enabled and taught her, you don't have to worry about it. You know, I'll charge your phone. I'll put gas in your car. I'm going to make life easier for you. And then we're like, oh my God, these millennials. Well, we created the millennials when you think about it. Yes, some of that, you know, some of the habits that they might have, it's because of the generation, but we have to take responsibility in how we communicate with our kids. Are we taking time to connect,
Mhm.
or are we too busy to connect because of our own stuff, right, that we're
Right.
dealing with?
No, and I think that's good, like for you having self-reflection. Even writing the book, I'm sure you came across moments when you're like, ooh,
Exactly.
I gotta work on that one. Mama's gotta let go because I don't want to let
Exactly.
go. You know, like I am very imperfect. And
Very, very imperfect. But you know what? It's embracing the imperfection, right? Knowing that, you know what's perfect? To be imperfect. You know what's perfect? To make mistakes as a parent. I mean, I made so many mistakes. And sometimes I think, did I, you know, strip her of her self-esteem?
wow.
Did I cause her anxiety? Did my parenting cause her to not believe in herself? Or this is a good one. Did my parenting cause her to have unrealistic expectations? So she felt the need to be perfect because she witnessed me wanting to be perfect. Our kids are
Mhm.
constantly watching us. And if we're on that hamster wheel, I need to get the job, I need the promotion, I need to do the laundry, and I need to do everything. I need to be super mom. And they don't see you break down because you're like, I need to be very stoic. I need to be strong. I need to show my resiliency. They're going to be like, well, I guess I have to be that way.
Yes. Yes.
And as moms, right? I think that's how we feel. Like I have to be a good mom.
Right. But we don't realize that a strong vulnerability is a good mom.
Exactly. When you
Yeah.
break down, show it. It's like, you know what? Oh my gosh, mom's having a breakdown because I just don't know what to do. You know, like how you didn't know what to do when your Legos broke and you didn't know what to do when you didn't, you know, right?
Yeah.
It's
Becoming a single mom was really scary. However, you just like I tell people in anything, even with grieving, you just take it day by day, moment to moment. Um, you're not gonna know what's gonna happen later on down the road, but who does?
who
So
does.
you embrace today and you make the best. And some days is great. Some days you're like, okay, that was a lesson. You know,
Exactly.
like that was a tough lesson. Oh, I don't want to repeat that lesson. You know what I mean? As a parent, as a
As a
child.
parent,
Yes.
yes. Yeah, and
And
that's why I think it's the hardest thing when you see your children make the same mistake maybe again and again and again, and you think, did I not teach them, right?
yeah.
But then you have to think, I always think if the lesson is repeated, it needs to be repeated in order for them to learn. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with your effectiveness. You know, you're not an effective mom. Your child just needs to do her own journey. And I
Yes.
think I have to constantly tell myself, it's her journey. Okay, she fell, she, you know, had some scrapes, but is it my job to prevent those heartaches and
Yeah, we think we're helping them when we want to make sure they're always happy.
yeah.
However, in this life, things are going to happen. We're going to die. We're going to get sick. We're going to lose a job, gain a job, go through a pandemic, hurricane, like natural disasters. and they need to be able to learn how to survive in life.
Exactly. Which is why I think parenting during the pandemic, I think teaching is the new normal. Parents don't realize that, guess what? You can teach without a teaching degree, because the lessons that you're teaching your kids are life lessons, which are sometimes, and you and I talk about it, way more important than academic. Sometimes.
Yes.
Like right now, you don't need to talk about parts of speech and about history and about, all these things, but you can Google, you can find resources, and you can teach like real life lessons. Is your child going to be able to um, make a sandwich? Is your child going to be able to call the cell phone company when they overcharge them?
Right. Like
So,
teaching them like practicals.
practical lessons, right?
I'm really grateful for you. I know you have a lot coming for the rest of today. But if a parent that's listening would love to just connect with you, what is the best way to find you on social media and like email or whatnot? How can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram. I'm on Mama's Gotta Let Go, of course, and my business is Letting Go with Aloha. But I am
Instagram.
doing
Okay.
Instagram. On Facebook, I do have Brain Builders, which is my tutoring side. And then Mama's Gotta Let Go, you can always find me there, since I'm doing my parenting tips. I'm doing.
What can you share with them? What days do you go live in?
Oh, yes.
You have a group called Mama's Gotta Let Go, and people can request to be in that group. What days do you give parenting tips?
Every Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. time, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, right? 3:30.
And
But
you've
it's
been
every
doing
Wednesday.
special guests.
I've recently had special parents, and Des is going to be on next coming Wednesday, so we get to hear your story as a parent. But I encourage people who to join in. I have a lot of feedback, but if you want to be a parent, if you want to just share your challenges, that's what the Facebook Wednesdays are for. Not only parenting tips, but I would love to hear the current challenges that parents have.
And then on your Brain Builders on Facebook, you've been going live. Is it just for this month?
Actually, I'm not doing lives, but what I'm doing, which I have to do
Tips.
today, is I'm doing a parenting tips. I started Sunday, and I'm doing one every day through August 4th.
August 4th. Okay.
Because August 4th is supposedly when the Hawaii school systems will start. I might continue on, but I didn't realize that it is a commitment, and it involves a lot of
Planning.
research, and choose like, what tip am I going to share today? But I
Right.
am doing it every day, and because it's not live, I can do it on the side, and then I launch it, and I am welcoming parents to read, watch the tip of the day, incorporate it if it's something that you find useful, and also give me feedback, because a lot of it is asking parents, did you try this? Did it work? And so I would love feedback from anyone watching it.
And then for that parent who just really wants to connect with you more one-on-one to get help, you're offering a 30-minute free strategy call.
Yes, I'm doing a 30-minute free strategy call as a parent coach if they want to connect with me. I'm also doing a 30-minute tutoring session through August 4th. And I can meet with your child virtually. And this doesn't have to be in Hawaii, because as long as you have a laptop, phone, and internet connection, we can do it. So they can either email me. I
Okay.
have a kgbrainbuilders@gmail.com, or message me. You can message me, and we can plan it. And I would just welcome the opportunity to work with parents who are struggling, because I am on the ride with you.
Yeah, no, and that's good, because I think we don't know, like for some schools, they're just doing distance learning.
Yes.
Others are doing blended, and so it's great that you can be a resource for parents, and just letting them know that, okay, we're gonna work through this, and then also letting teachers know that if they want to transition slowly into tutoring, that they might actually enjoy it. So you'd be great to reach out to.
Yeah, I encourage teachers, parents, even students, if they want to reach me, reach out to me. message me on Instagram or Facebook. And I just want to add a 3-minute check-in session. You know, I do that with the Brain Builders tutoring, because sometimes parents just might want a little check-in to make sure that their child is doing what they're supposed to do. And some parents might not know, what is my kid supposed to do?
Right.
So I think just providing or knowing that there's resources there. If it's not me, then the teachers, fellow classmates. I mean, that's what the whole, right? It's going to be an interesting school year.
Yeah, and it's coming up quick for Hawaii. I don't know when the start date is for the other states.
True.
Yeah. Also, real quick, where can they find your book if people wanted to purchase?
Amazon has it, Kindle version as well as the paperback. If they leave a positive comment with the Kindle version, I will mail you, if you're in the US, I will mail you a paperback version that has like 10 extra message cards with 10 ways to let go. So yeah, I encourage you to go on Amazon.
Yeah, guys, jump on it. Well, thank you so much for your time. And hey, guys, thank you for joining us with Healing with Aloha Podcast. We are on Spotify, Anchor.fm. And if you wanted to find our website, is www.healingwithalohapodcast.com. We are on Instagram as Healing with Aloha. On Facebook is Healing with Aloha Podcast. And also on TikTok, Healing with Aloha. But thank you guys for your time. You guys have a beautiful day. Until the next time, a hui ho.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on.